But now it's almost like you've narrowed down the pool, wouldn't you?
Why did we take so long to make this decision?
Because of brand equity, as you said before.
How long you reckon it'll be before the AI becomes like truly agentic? AI that is connected through MCP to your CRM, to everything.
120
and then
seconds.
literally, what?
121.34 seconds to be exact.
Can you do a demo that you beat your old record?
Oh my goodness. All right, let me see what I can do.
There's also a thing about data enrichment. So what are the capabilities on that front?
Yeah, you should stand on a mountainside and wave a flag if it gets their attention. If you think generating leads is a lot of work, right? Try not generating them.
What early patterns do you notice about businesses that scale versus those that stay stuck?
That's a great question, Johann.
Businesses that stay stuck, they get comfortable.
What does experience teach you that first-time founders usually ignore?
The market determines your value, not your ideas.
What do you think is the best strategy?
I always talk about this technique that I learned, which is called the flypaper technique.
How do you guys manage to continue work so well together?
The biggest thing that makes our partnership work is...
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode on the HighLevel Experience podcast. Our guests, that's right, guests, plural today. I've got two guests. It's a duo who spent decades in the trenches of software, systems, and scale, building, breaking, and rebuilding businesses long before AI became a buzzword. Partners who've seen firsthand what happens when you listen to ego versus when you listen to data. They're the kind of operators who don't chase trends, they interrogate results. And when the numbers tell them the truth, they have the courage to pivot, even if it means walking away from years of brand equity. Today's conversation is about that. It's about knowing your market better than your feelings, understanding when a product is no longer serving the right people, and why sometimes the most powerful move in business is letting go so something better can take its place. Please welcome to the show, Johann Nogueira and Walt Bayliss.
Thanks, man. Great to see you.
Great to have you guys on the show. It's been a while. How's life been?
No, I keep pausing for you, mate. So Johann knows that whenever I get near a microphone, he never gets a chance. So I'm trying to get him to at least have a chance to speak before I take over. But life's been great, mate. I think your intro there is really apt. We've recently changed everything. I'll throw over to Johann to go through that. But life is great. Life is moving forward rapidly. And we're super excited about what's coming. But I'll let Johann fill in the details for you.
Yeah, man, for sure. So, dude, thank you. Thanks for having us here, and thanks for having a chat. This is epic. And yes, you're right. It takes a lot. Like, it was a big decision to change our entire brand, especially after being in there for 4 years. Everybody knows us as White Label Suite, and they're like, "What do you mean you're changing the name?" And it came about. So we have our strategy sessions for the next year every December, and so we're at December. We're looking at our numbers, and we're looking at the people who get the most out of it. And one of the things we saw was 95% of our people that we were helping them get set up with business 101 type stuff. Hey, let's get your offer. Let's get this. And then on the other end, at an exponential rate, we've got people who are like, "Hey, man, I'm doing 200 grand. It's wow. Who are these guys?" And they turned out to be salespeople, seasoned sales professionals who know exactly what they want, like who they need to talk to. And they're like, "Just get me in front of the right person." And it's not about the person that just makes one phone call or one email and says, "I tried, now I'm going to give up." It's the relentless, the rebels who really, they're like, "Dude, I sent a box of cookies. I sent an email. I sent flowers to the wife and said, just tell your husband to call me for 2 minutes." So those are the rebels, who we consider rebels. So we changed our name. Everything now is AI powered, right? So the brand is AI powered up. And the tagline is sales tech for rebels, and making it easier for them to be able to connect with, contact, and close deals faster, leveraging this technology.
Okay, so you found a big discrepancy with the user base in terms of how they're using the product and what results they were getting. I'm interested to talk about that and all these decisions that went into place. But Before we dive into it, I think what might be good as well, just a bit of a TLDR, maybe for you, Walt. Can you give the guys listening who are brand new to this, they're like, who is what, where, White Label? I had no idea what you guys are talking about. Do you want to give a bit of TLDR about the
Yeah,
product?
right. Absolutely. Yeah, sure. So if you're just joining us, if you're part of the high level crew, and I'm assuming that you are listening to the amazing podcast here with Vit, this high level experience really is an amazing place to be. So Johann and I came together 5 years ago. We had a product and we basically white labeled that product 4.5 years ago as we entered into the high level ecosystem. So if you listen to this, high level, we love you. And that white label piece is a big part of the high level world, right? So it's taking that incredible CRM software, rebranding it under your own and allowing you to build that recurring income. That's what we all love about that space. And when we realized that this was the space of high level, we allowed the white labeling component of our tool. We said, hey, this is what everybody wants. Everybody wants to be able to white label. So we did that. And for the last 4.5 years, we've served over 2,500 high level agencies through our program, helping them get sales of their white label CRM program, of their offers, etc. So Johann's commentary there, we realized that the people who are getting the most out of it are the ones that have already got something to sell. So here's where the pivot happened, Vit. So 4.5 years, we've been white label suite. That's been our brand. And you might have seen us in every single high level event that's been around the world. We've been there as platinum sponsors, as white label suite. We've really had an amazing, I guess, base under the brand of white label suite. But as Johann said, when we were looking at the experience of our customers, helping them make sales was, I guess, the lifeblood of what that group needed. They needed a way of being able to find a customer. They needed to be able to close a deal, and they're looking to grow their high level business. So when we looked at who was having the best results with our tool, and our tool is a lead generation tool, the people that were having the best experience were the ones that were using the tool to go and get deals. And what we were trying to do, we were trying to teach them how to sell it, how to put their own brand on it, and how to go to market. And it's just too much of a lesson. They're already trying to do that with high level. They're already trying to create something amazing using the high level white label piece. And a lot of people, as you know, Vit, a lot of people struggle with that. How do I craft my offer? How do I position myself in the market? All that kind of stuff. So when we looked at our user base, and I'm trying to keep the TLDR, when we looked at the user base, we recognized that the best way to help them was just help them make sales. Help them make sales of what they've already got. So that was
rather than trying to resell something else, rather than trying to have to relearn it. And again, with the high level world, we know that you need the infrastructure to support your growth. You need training, and you need tutorials, and you need onboarding, and you need help docs, and you need all of that kind of stuff. And there's amazing providers in the high level world that do that, but not a lot of people can take that same infrastructure into yet another white label program. So TLDR, we started 5 years ago, served 2,500 high level agency owners under a white label suite brand. When we recognized that what they actually need was just a faster, more direct route to market, then we rebranded in the December just gone. And now we are known as AI X Up, or AI Powered Up. We're still the same team. We've grown a little bit since then, but we're still the same team, still the same product. But the focus is now less on getting you to resell it and helping you sell what you've already got using the AI Powered Up kind of mentality. Okay, so now it clicks to me, because I spoke to Johann last week. We had a brief conversation about this. I kind of understood it a little bit, but now it really clicks. And in going back to my own experience using your product for the last couple of years, yeah, it does make sense. Because let's say, like an example, one of our customers, he's a martial art club owner. And I showed him the product and showed him, hey, look, you can put profession, the area code, and it'll spit out those contact details of those businesses. He signed up, he used it, but then he canceled because he's a small business. And for him, the only thing that made sense was just that amount of contacts in the area. After that, he has no need to keep paying, right? Whereas for me, as a SaaS business, I'm B2B. I'm going to continue to use it. So yeah, that's one thing I did. I never really got off the ground myself, being able to package it and sell it to other businesses.
That's the experience for everyone, bud. That's exactly right. Like, you as a high level agency owner, you need lead flow to lots of different types of small business. You need martial arts clubs, and you need gyms, and you need accountants, and you need everybody, all of the niches that you're going after. But those clients don't need that. And so when we're now focusing on serve the agency owner and help them fill their pipelines, help them succeed with high level, now we've got a win-win environment.
Okay, great. Now, the market opportunity is what I'm curious to know. So obviously that, logically, your business model would have been, if you sell it to more businesses, then you're selling more licenses, then that's how we make money. But now it's almost like you've narrowed down the pool, wouldn't you? So how do you still...
Great question. That's talking about all the SDRs, all the sales organizations use an acronym. They call it TAM, Total Addressable Market. And it's one of the strengths that we're pivoting on with this rebrand. So I'll let Johann tell you about that the increase in TAM by removing the supposed market and going after the real one.
Yeah, man. So before we were serving just GHL agencies to white label it. There's 110,000 of them at this point in time. This is the smallest they'll ever be. It just grows. But then if we open it up to every SDR, every sales professional, every person who needs sales for their business, it goes into the millions. And so that TAM is increased tenfold. The sales cycle is so much more reduced because they see it. Within 7 minutes, they know whether they want it or not. And they go, yep, I want this, let's go. And they buy it. It's a much more simpler sale. The training is all done by us, our team, the onboarding, the updates, everything. And we were sitting there going, wow, why did we take so long to make this decision?
Because of brand equity, as you said before.
Well, but also sometimes, you just get attached. I like to say, you got to know when to kill the puppy. That puppy represents the company that you're so, emotionally attached to. You've invested time and effort over the years. It's what people know you are. So it's kind of becomes like this something like a puppy. Let's talk about that. And
That's deciding a terrible analogy. It's a terrible analogy. Let's go with, I don't know, you have to learn how to let the bird fly. Like you have to set it free.
Yeah. No, but that is a good analogy because I tell you why. And this is an analogy I learned from a mate of mine who he's actually CEO here in Canberra of the Canberra Innovation Network. So he gave me like 10 rules of innovation. They are all about innovation. They do innovation, hubs, incubators. They get government grants for small businesses. It's all about innovation, all. And so he says that's what it is, because when you, as an entrepreneur, you get so attached to something that you struggle to pivot. You're so emotionally attached to it. So what could be like the most emotionally attached to a puppy? So the idea of killing the puppy that's ridiculous. I would never do that. But that's kind of what's in the head of a lot of entrepreneurs. Like, I would never let go of my idea. It's like I've been on it for years. This idea is just so awesome. It's gonna work. It's gonna work. Years pass, and then you missed the opportunity. So you really have to kill the idea, kill the puppy. I know it sounds brutal.
I've got my puppy sitting here at my feet, and just for those of you who are listening, we would never ever kill a puppy. In fact, we've just put a different coat on the puppy. It's all good.
So you said December. And then now it's it's only you only just started. So you've made a fast pivot on this. Does that
we don't waste time? How did you know us?
Yeah.
Actually, the speed of the change is genuinely reflected. You were talking about data before, Vit. So, and again, guys, for those who are listening, what's the message that we're trying to give? You need to focus on what your customers want. That's the big message. Regardless of what you think, it's what they need or what they want that actually makes business wheels go round. So talking about the speed of pivot, we made that decision mid-December. We decided that January 1st was the official rollout. And since January 1st, since that first release of the new model and the new market, we've seen our customer retention and our customer net promoter score, NPS, what they call, how happy are you with this product? We've seen that rise dramatically because we are now focused on what does that customer need and want right now? They need sales, they need opportunities, they need people in their pipeline. And since we're now focused on just that, rather than on, and then you have to rebrand it and package it and create your own funnels and do your own marketing and all that kind of stuff, which completely confuses 99% of people. Now that we've focused on, let's fill your funnel, let's get you the next opportunity, they're like, ding, and everything's turning around.
There's some things that are still very useful thought, that the offer of offering a business, hey, I'll give you some leads for free. I think that's still very powerful, right? So for me, I can now use it. I can continue to use it for prospecting, whether it's cold or more personalized through GHL. Yeah. But I can still package up the offer, right? That's still...
Yeah, so that hasn't changed. As an AXUP customer, so that's, again, AI AXUP, that's what we now call White Label Suite. As an AXUP customer, you can still make that offer out to your client. Hey, Mr. Client, let me help you get a couple of free leads in this funnel going on for you. So you can still do that for your client. You're just not trying to sell them something else. You're trying to help them grow their own business along that path.
Now, you guys come a long way in terms of the product cycle, product development. Originally, it was a Google API, basically with an interface on the front end that allows you to download it and do whatever you needed to do with it. Now we're in the world of AI, so you've since enhanced a lot of it. Do you want to give a bit of a again, a bit of a TLDR on the latest and greatest of how the tool works. Maybe your
Johann, do you
question
want to
for
fire that
you,
one up?
Walt or Johann.
Well, yeah, sure. I'll take it. But again, I know that I hog the mic like crazy. So it's let me throw over to Johann because he's an AI aficionado, man. Johann actually speaks on stages around the world. He's consulted with him when it comes to what's happening in AI. So I can probably talk about it from a product dev point of view, but Johann can probably talk about it more from a global point of view.
Well, I want to hear both perspectives.
Cool. Let's do that. You go first, mate.
Yeah, for sure. So since AI has come into the fold, since, let's say, what was it, November 23, when we all got ChatGPT, right? We had AI before that, and 2 years before that. When I first saw, by the way, Walt has built this. I call him the mad genius. He's there building the most incredible things, and every time he shows me, I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. Can I tell people? He's, don't tell people. It's not perfect yet. And so we always have this argy-bargy of, I'm going to tell everybody. He's don't tell anybody. Anyway, so the mad scientist is in the cave building all these amazing things. So we had AI before AI was cool. And when AI became cool, it was so easy to explain to people, hey, guess what? You can reach out to anybody. You can reach out to a CEO. Now, with the click of a few buttons, the AI is gonna go. It's gonna analyze everything about him, his business or her business, their Instagram profile, what are their favorites, what are their values, all of these sorts of things. Go and look at the projects they're working on and basically craft something that's hyper-personalized. And Walt, I think about 2 weeks ago, has now created where you can just click a button and it generates a fully personalized presentation. By the way, that's only 0.1% of what the tool can do. But I'm saying the advances with AI of what can you do with this? You can click a button and send out physical cookies to all these people and get them to now say, hey, go watch this 2-minute video. This is what I'm doing. This is why. Jump on with me on the podcast. I'd love to have you as a guest, all those sorts of things. So the AI now allows us to hook into absolutely all these other systems and create a better experience, which then allows that person who we're trying to reach out to, whether it's just a one person or an entire business or an entire company or influencers who have your database. Like all of these people are now just at the fingertips, and within seconds you can reach out to all of them. Yeah, so that's my TLDR about what we are doing.
The cool thing from a product point of view, and again, for our high levelers, the cool thing from a product point of view with AI is that software is no longer out of the box. And what does that mean? It means every single person that engages AI in their software now can make that software unique just for them. And so a great example in HighLevel is the voice agents and the chatbots, right? Every single business has a different knowledge base. Even 2 nail salons next to each other have different opening hours and different pricing points. So because AI allows you to customize its responses, every single chatbot can have unique answers. When it comes to what we've done inside of the program, what that means is really like massively dramatic. But I'll give you an example. A week ago, I wrote a prompt inside of our tool that would easily be worth 5-10 grand to a company. Here's what it does. I can go into the AXA program and I can find a list of target customers. Let's say CEOs in Phoenix, CEOs of construction companies in Phoenix, right? And so dropping that list in, you'll probably end up with hundreds of CEOs of construction companies in Phoenix. And if you're a busy business owner and I give you a list of names and contact details of people to go out and reach, now you've got work. I've literally just given you a task. I've got, I can almost see the business owner's eyes glaze. Oh my God, I can't get through all of this list. But here's what the prompt did. Literally just go in and say, analyze this list of customers, look at each one individually and run it through a filter. Are they doing this turnover? Are they at this time of their business? Do they have this kind of approach? Are they whatever's important to me? And respond back with just a very simple answer. Are they a good fit customer? Yes or no? And I can literally go in and I can say, run this script, run this prompt, which you just talk to it in natural language, find this out for me. And instead of getting 100 or 200 names and CEO details on a list, I get 5. And I know that those 5 are the ones that are the most likely to become a client. Now, again, what does that mean from an AI and product dev point of view? There's an amazing book, which I recommend to anybody who's interested in AI. It's called Prediction Machines. And it was written by 3 incredible guys, Ajay Agrawal, Joshua Gans, and RVG. These guys are data scientists. And they talk about AI. But if you think about just what the title means, it's called prediction machines. What it does, what AI actually does, is takes data that we have and predicts data that we don't have. And again, for the high levelers, let me see if I can give you an example. So if you could look at an existing group of customers and know if you had the data that told you what kinds of Facebook ads they responded to based on history, that's the data that we have, then AI can predict the next set of ads that you roll out should meet these same criteria based on the data that we have, predicting the data that we don't have. That's what AI does really well. So now that we have this flexibility inside of our programs, we can get the AI to predict for us what's important to me as a business owner. I'm a very different business owner than the guy who's operating in the office next door to me. So the reality is now, the great thing with AI is that it means every single software application that has put AI at its core is flexible and can actually deliver different results based on what you tell it is important to you. And for us, again, from a product development point of view, that's amazing, because it means I can deliver my product to 5 different people and they have 5 different experiences because the AI understands what they need. And that just changes the game in terms of creating something they'll value for a client.
You may not realize this, but for the last 2 years, I've had a secret weapon that has made running my business inside of HighLevel so much easier. You see, there is so much that HighLevel can do, which is amazing, but it's a lot of work to stay up to date with it. And even more so if my customers are asking me questions about it. And this is why I'm excited to announce that our show is officially part of the HLPT Creator Network. This is HighLevel Pro Tools, an organization that I've been using to run support for my customers, as well as give me a ton of awesome epic add-ons that make running, launching, and differentiating my SaaS inside of HighLevel so much easier. And now that they're an official sponsor of the show, they've done something pretty bloody awesome. If you go to hlpt.com/experience, you can get one of their incredible tools absolutely for free. No purchase necessary, just for being a listener on the show. So head over to hlpt.com/experience, grab that free tool, and I promise you this is going to improve the conversion rates on your page. Check out all the other stuff that they offer and tell them that Vit sent you.
You know what's wild? There's a smarter way to grow your agency and help more local businesses without adding more stress. That's what HighLevel does. It's your all-in-one sales, marketing, automation, and AI system. No more duct taping tools together or paying for 20 different subscriptions that barely talk to each other. I've been using it for 5 years with my own white-level version, Stand Out from the Pack, helping Aussie businesses like Dimitri, a Canberra electrician, who now runs his jobs, quotes, calls, and follow-ups with our built-in AI employee. If you're an agency, HighLevel lets you do exactly that. Support your clients in new ways while building stable, recurring revenue every month. And if you're a local business, partner up with somebody who knows your market and your industry. If you're in Tasmania, my mate Jared from Boulder Digital, for example, has you covered. If you're in Canberra, that's my turf. Check out standoutfromthepack.com.au and we'll get you sorted. The point is, there's probably a high-level agency or SaaSpreneur near you. We're seasoned marketers, tech-savvy super nerds who love helping local businesses grow. We're global, we're connected, we're high-levelers. Now, I've got something really special for you guys. I've negotiated an exclusive 30-day HighLevel trial that's double the usual just for you. Sign up your agency through gohighlevel.com/Vit or upgrade your existing plan, and I'll hook you up with over $3,200 worth of bonuses, resources, templates, and snapshots I normally give to my private clients only. So whether you're scaling an agency or leveling up your business, start with the right system. gohighlevel.com/Vit or team up with your local SaaSpreneur and let's make business simple again. One platform, one login, no duct tape, just results. AI is very impressive topic in general. What I'm curious to know is right now the way it works, you still have to run it. You give it a prompt and it runs, right? How soon do you reckon, and this is probably just pulling it out of thin air, but still a cool question anyway to ask, just to ponder on, how long you reckon it'll be before the AI becomes like truly agentic, AI that is connected through MCP to your CRM, to everything.
120
and then
seconds.
literally, what?
121.34 seconds to be exact. I did a YouTube video last week. We have agentic AI in the system. And I said, let me show you how to build a fully autonomous, does it for you AI agent that will find your ideal client, research that client, write personalized communication with them, and pop them into your HighLevel account. And I said on the film, I'm going to do it in under 3 minutes. And I put a stopwatch timer on the thing, and I did it in 121.34 seconds. So that functionality, Vit, is already there. Find me this client 20 times a day. I need you to research them, find them, drop them into my thing, personalize the communication, put them into HighLevel so it automatically sends, monitor the responses through the AI chat, etc. Ding,
and come
ding,
back
already done.
and then innovate on its own cycle and do it again.
Yes.
Okay. Are you up for a challenge, Walt? Are you up for a challenge? We didn't plan this, but and we've already done a demo when I had you guys on the podcast a year and a half ago, but that's a long time ago anyway. So I was thinking maybe we could do a demo, but can you do a demo that you beat your old record?
Oh my goodness. All right. Let me see what I can do. Now, guys, if you're listening, here's a proviso, right? I'm going to do this quick, right? So I'll invite you to start your stopwatch in just a minute. I'm going to do this quick, but here's the proviso, right? You don't need to do this in 120 seconds. It's an important business process. The thing that you should do before you start this process is know, A, who am I trying to reach? What makes the information about them valuable? And that might take you an hour or two just to, work that all out. But once you have it, then you can build the tools quickly. So Vit, I'm gonna go with that proviso, and I'll try and beat my record. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to try and set up an AI agent that will find, and I'll use my example from before. It will find CEOs of construction companies in Phoenix. It will research them. Then it will use that research to write a personalized email, including the subject line. And then it'll put that whole data set into HighLevel, and it'll run that 20 times a day. That's the agent we'll build. How does that sound?
Sounds great. Can you specify why 20 times a day? Why that number?
Sure, great question. So, there's no limit on the amount of contacts you can have. But let me ask something to the people who are listening. Is there a limit? Really? Everybody goes, you get me 10,000. No, I couldn't, because you couldn't handle that volume, right? And the reason I go 20 times a day is really simple. For me, if I'm starting off a brand new business and I wanted to get acceleration quickly, right? If I just reached out to 20 ideal customers with a perfectly crafted message every single day, I'd be at 6 figures in 90 days or less. That's my own personal thoughts, right? You don't need 10,000. You need 5. 5 good, highly qualified, right payment level customers will completely change your world, right? Now, if you're a martial arts studio or if you're a nail studio, you want 5 a day. You're right. But if you're an agency, you want 1 a week, right? You want to be able to grow in the right speed so that you can go with that. So 20 times a day is just my choice, but I'll show you in my little timer challenge that you just set for me. I can turn that dial up. 20 a day is actually the minimum that you can set. It takes as long to set up 20 times a day as it does to set up 100 times a day. I just know my own personal volume. So 20 times a day for me makes it easy. All right. So let me share my screen.
Stopwatch ready.
All right. Okay. Let me share my screen over here and make sure that you can see. So can you see our Axe Up dashboard there, Vit?
It's coming up now. Just 1 second. I'm just going to
All right.
bring it to my other screen. Yeah, I can see it now. Okay. So guys, just before you kick off, Walt, guys, if you're listening to this, you're on Apple Podcast, don't worry. We have a visual for you. And it's available on a YouTube channel. If you're driving right now, you can just fast forward or just keep listening and then come back to this and you'll be able to watch it on our YouTube channel.
All right. So again, with my provisos, you tell me when to go, mate, and we're going to create an agent that is fully autonomous, runs every single day, finds CEOs of construction companies in Phoenix, and that's just an example of a niche you could look for, researches those people, writes personalized communication, and drops it into HighLevel ready to be sent out. And I'll try and beat my 120 seconds record.
Is there any way we could also do the outreach? and then come back to it in an hour when we'll finish the episode.
I need to have that automation set up in HighLevel, and I'm not reaching out to CEOs of construction companies, but yeah, it's easy enough to be able to do. So as long as you've got as long as you've got the workflow in HighLevel, as soon as you send it across to HighLevel, that email's sent out and away you go.
Awesome. Brilliant. All right. So Walt, you ready?
Ready to go, mate.
Ready, set, go.
Okay, so what we're going to do is come over to our AI tools section into our AI agent builder, which is right here. And this is going to let us start our canvas. So we create a new AI agent and just give it a name. This will be CEO Construction. So cool, let's go with that. And I'm going to save my changes as I go. From here, it will open up the canvas, and we have pre-built recipes, but I'm not going to cheat. I'm going to do this from scratch. So we can drag on the search that we're looking for. So we wanted to create CEOs in Phoenix. All right. And I want this to run automatically. And this is where we set daily. So on the next screen, we'll see how many per day. And like I said to you before, Vit, we can choose 20, 40, 60. However, I'm choosing 20 as a minimum. So we want CEOs, and we want to filter this a little bit. We want this in a specific location. We said Phoenix, Arizona. So let's just drop that in here, Phoenix, Arizona. And we want construction companies. So I'm going to come down here and just type in the industry of construction, just like that. So now I have my search set up. Now I want to do those steps. The first was research. I've got my AI prompts already built. And again, that's a bit of a cheat on this timer here. I've built my prompts already. Next, I wanted to write my emails for me. So I do an AI email based on that research that's been done. I do an AI subject line based on based on the email that's been written. And then my final step is then to drop that into my CRM program, which is there. And we are done. Stop the clock.
That was 1 minute and 23 seconds.
Yes! Before it was 123 seconds, which is 2 minutes. Beat it by 40 seconds, baby.
Nice work. Nice work.
So that will now
Search.
run.
Mm-hmm. All right. Summarize, AI intro, subject line, send to up. And then you'd have automation workflow in HighLevel that, so all of these things would go into custom fields. And then you have those custom fields inside the email body. And then that's how that gets populated. That goes out. What are the recommended steps then? Do you recommend people set up a pipeline so they can track opens and replies and all that?
Absolutely. So, I mean, and this is why now with AXUP, this is why we focus on sales. So, Johann, and this is what I mean by monopolizing the microphone, right? Last week, we had an amazing sales call, and the gentleman said to us, and what would I do next? And this is exactly the point. And the reason why we're now focused on making sales, because my response to him was this. Great question. If you had a list of 100 targeted, researched, well-written CEOs that you were now communicating with, what would you do next? And he said, well, then I'd send them, some information about the company. I'd see who was interested. I'd send them a video. I'd send them a brochure. I'd send them this. And when they showed me that they were interested, then I would, send them a box of cookies or something, and I'll go out and meet them. So what would I suggest you do next? One of the most underrated features, I think, of HighLevel is the lead scoring, right? So what is lead scoring? If I've got a list of 100 people, again, if we reference Alex Hormozy or somebody like that, he defines a lead in his $100 million leads book. He says a lead is anybody that I can communicate with, right? Just give me a name and a phone. That's a lead. Okay, cool. Well, let's get a little bit more detailed than that. We're talking about a market qualified lead. Now, what does that mean? It means I've chosen that the kinds of people I want to speak to meet these market criteria. They've got to be this kind of person in that kind of industry doing this kind of thing. Great. Amazing. Now I've got a market qualified lead. But what turns a market qualified lead into a hot lead? That comes only from attention.
Engagement.
Engagement, exactly. So in HighLevel, we set up lead scoring, and we do things like this. An open on an email is not really valid anymore. Open rates are done because everybody's running AI agents in their inbox. Open rates are whacked out. But a click is a genuinely interested person. Somebody that has taken the time and has actually clicked. Now, if we take out the anomalies, the people that accidentally clicked when they meant to click on the unsubscribe, or all of that kind of stuff, a click represents interest. So inside of HighLevel, I would definitely set up the pipeline. I would track not the opens, but the clicks. And I would start to give these a score. So set up lead scoring in HighLevel. When they click, give them a point. If they get to a page and they watch a certain percentage of a video, it might be 15 or 30 seconds, give them a point. If they watch the whole thing, give them 5 points, right? Once they reach a certain level of interest, attention, engagement, they've hit a certain score, then I take the next action. Example, if this was me running my sales pipeline, if they watch my entire video, I'm texting them now. Hey, John, thanks for watching the video. I've got a few minutes before my next meeting. Do you want to jump on a call? That's an interested lead. If they've watched that whole thing, I want to get them now. And of course, you can do all that in HighLevel. So we set up lead scoring to get who's interested, who's taken a series of actions, who's elevated themselves through my pipeline. And at the point, whatever the point is for you that you say, pivot, this is my moment, then you send them a text message and get them on a call, because you've got somebody right now who's shown interest, who's reached a certain score, and I'd be acting on that straight away. So feed the funnel, do it in a personalized way using AI at scale, monitor the interest and act on the interest. And if you just follow that, you'll do well.
Brilliant. Now, there's also a thing about data enrichment. So what are the capabilities on that front?
Yeah, great question. I feel bad for Johann. Johann, do you want to take any of this, buddy?
No, you go, man. Dude, you're the mad scientist. It's all good. Go for it.
I've got other questions, but I like to keep it like focused on this bit. So maybe just dive in a couple more technical questions. And
yeah, great. So your question, Vit, was first of all, what is data enrichment? Why is it important? What's the capabilities of AXA? So what is data enrichment? It's about taking the data that you have and filling in the gaps. So here's the CEO of a construction company. And again, we're just using that as an example. What are the things that we can know about them? So some of the gaps that we can fill in. Tell me their social media profiles. Give me their Facebook. Give me their LinkedIn. Give me their Instagram handle. I can take that even further and say, analyze that social media and tell me what kind of person they are. What are they interested in? And that's getting into the kind of the psychographics and demographics kind of thing. But I can fill in the data. So simple stuff like what's the address of the company and what's the phone number of the company, that has been able to be done for years and years. Like we have multiple data providers that you just type that in. Here's the address, here's the name, here's the phone numbers, all that kind of stuff. But when you're talking about data enrichment, you're going further than that. So you're starting to understand, sure, show me the social media profiles of that particular business. More than that, we go, understand the social media so I can start to communicate with this person in the right way. Next, we use AI to deep research. So if anybody's been around AI for a while, you know, platforms like Perplexity made deep research part of our everyday life. It's don't just take what you find in your first search, go and dig and find out more. And if you can turn that information into a saleable asset, then you rocket your chances of success. And again, I'll give you a prompt, and happy to throw these prompts to the listeners as well. We can put it on the page. Yep. We have a prompt that we turn the research into a sales brief. Right? So take everything we find out about the business and turn it into a one-pager PDF that then can go straight into HighLevel in an attachment or in a custom field. So when I'm talking to this person, I can pop open that brief and I can see they're this business. They've been here for that long. They've been doing this kind of thing. This is what they're interested in. This is their last 5 projects, whatever it is that makes that sale easier. So data enrichment, what is it? It's about filling in the gaps. Why should you do it? Because it makes sales easier. What's the functionality within AXA? It goes all the way from static data, name, address, phone number, to dynamic data, which is AI research, and then turning that AI research into something usable.
And then understand those correlations as well on certain data points. Let's say if you're looking at a LinkedIn CEO, you look at their company and you're looking at how many people work in that company. There's also a little chart that shows you like when they hired, like when was a spike in hiring more people. And what does that mean? Okay, well, they hired more people. They probably have, maybe they've grown. They probably have more budget. They might have more resources, whatever that is, right? So like understanding those correlations as well. It's how you can be like super strategic, right? Yeah, it's exciting time we live in. Now, I asked you about the 20 and you said 20 is because, you know, like how many can you handle based on the size? So if you're a smaller agency, that might be enough. If you're, I keep saying agency, but like a B2B business, they've got a big sales department. They're going to need to prospect way more than just 20. So they might go more of almost like a cold. Well, this is still a cold email outreach, but hyper-personalized. So the conversion would logically be higher. But if you want to do it at bigger scale, then you start running into technical limitations with the deliverability and not getting flagged for spam. So that's when you have to start looking at using other pieces of software, not HighLevel for that outreach, but maybe like Instantly or something.
So Instantly is amazing. Instantly is great. And we ran on Instantly for a good few months. Instantly is amazing because you can connect up unlimited mailboxes and it rotates through and you kind of have a mailbox health score and that kind of stuff. It's great.
Yep. But
you can also do that on HighLevel. Now, it's not as easy. you need multiple high-level accounts. So that's where it runs into trouble. But the great news is for the high-level agency owners, you can have unlimited accounts. So, and that becomes something you can charge your customers for. So yes, you can use instantly. $97 a month, I think it is. You can have one account, unlimited inboxes. The challenge is with running outreach at scale like that is you've got to be compliant, Vit. So it's really important that I say this. There's laws and regulations in every country, every state in the world. You need to be compliant in your marketing. So it's important that you know those laws. But taking that aside, if you're running at scale like that, you need 10, 15, 20, 30 different email inboxes through G Suite, and that gets expensive. So it's $10 a month per user. You could have 30 accounts. Suddenly you're up to $300 a month just for your inbox infrastructure, right? Whereas you can run in HighLevel, you can register the domain for $10 a year. You can set up the email account then for free, plugged into that global inbox within HighLevel, and you can connect unlimited HighLevel accounts to one instance within AXA. So you could have 10 different accounts connected to 10 different agents. And if you saw on my demo there, the max setting we had per agent per day was 100. Now you're doing 1,000 a day. Now, again, guys, you will know whether that is unwieldy or that is absolutely awesome. Talk to my buddy here, Johann, is one of the best sales strategists I've ever met. And he will contact 4 or 5 of the right people and get a meeting. He's not sending 1,000 emails a day. He's sending one to a key contact. He's making sure that it's targeted, it's right, it's the right reach out. So everybody's business will depend, but you can do it on HighLevel. It just takes a little bit more setup, or you can use instantly. Again, you've got to be very cautious.
And the outreach doesn't have to be just email, right? How many emails
in fact,
do you all get? Yeah, I don't rely. So I use the tool, but I don't do it via email. I do socials. So, for example, one of my dream 100 clients, I was like, wow, I'd love to have this guy as a client. I saw that he launched a board game. Now, you might know I'm a board game aficionado. I love it. So I went on his Kickstarter and I bought the board game. And then when the board game arrived 3 months later, I had messaged him like, yo, dude, check it out. I got your board game. And then we started talking. Now, they have a significant company, 200 people plus. And we talked, the whole call was 30 minutes. For 20 minutes, we talked about board games. For 8 minutes, we talked about the tool. And then for the 2 minutes, we talked about what the next steps were. That was it. And so it's not just about doing outreach just via email. It's socials, it's phone calls, it's text messages. It's however you would, if this is the ideal person who you can help, this is what you should do.
Absolutely. You should stand on a mountainside and wave a flag if it gets their attention. That's the key piece, I think, Vit, that most people, they miss. You send an email and expect that your prospecting is done. Well, hang on a second. You need to get hold of them, reach out to their team, comment on their content, send a smoke signal, carrier pigeon, whatever it is. And people are like, oh man, but that's a lot of work. It's like, I've said this so many times before in so many different ways, but if you think generating leads is a lot of work, right? Try not generating them. If you think it's expensive to generate leads, try not generating them. Like, it's pure blood of business. And again, if you want to optimize your time, right? I cannot do that with 150 people. I cannot, right? And 149 of them are not the right people anyway. Give me the one. Give me the one and let me go all out. Let me send a carrier pigeon and a box of brownies, and let me get them on LinkedIn and send their wife a bunch of whatever it takes. I can do that with 1 to 5 to 10. When I get the right client, it moves the needle. And I'm not talking about a $99 subscription. That should be a self-pay sign up. I'm talking about the client that is going to spend $2 million with you over the next couple of years. Make sure that those are the right clients and do it at the right level.
I remember back when you and Johann twice already, and you mentioned this one strategy that you used to do with the chess figures.
Yep, with the direct mail.
You direct mail. That was sending a chess figure and then saying, hey, do you want to how was the pitch? I can't remember anyway. It was sending something physical, something that nobody else does these days. Everybody goes email.
Yeah, we send them little. So if you go to Kmart in Australia over here, or Walmart over there, you get 100 dinosaurs for $3. You put that in the envelope and say, hey, your systems, your whatever it is you're selling, your insurance policy is gone the way of the dinosaurs. There's a post-it note that points to the dinosaur, and all you want them to do is to look at the dinosaur. Then a week later, you send them the next one. And by the way, it's handwritten. It's handwritten on the yellow envelope with the big, what's it called? Private email confidential stamp across it. And so it gets past the gatekeeper. Then the next week we do a magnifying glass. And the magnifying glass says, use this magnifying glass to read the fine print. Fine print says, we guarantee we'll make you 20% more or increase your bottom line by 20%, whatever it is. The third one is dice. We'll send dice and say, don't gamble with your business's future. Jump on this thing, watch this video. And then the last one that we were talking about was the chess piece. We'll send the chess piece saying, hey, we've made our move, now it's yours. Let's make the move. And then the fifth one, if they still don't reply to that, is a guy with binoculars and a postcard saying, we're looking for you. Please tell us you're okay. And we don't want to do.
So, I mean, this is...
Go to this website, press I'm okay, and we won't email you. We won't send you anything. We just need to do it.
But again, awesome. Who does that? Right?
Exactly.
Nobody does that. And if you do,
that's what I was saying. It's like AI is exciting. Cold email marketing is becoming a lot more competitive because now everybody is realizing, well, we have to be more personalized. You can no longer get away with just the basic spin tags and stuff like that. And more marketers will be utilizing these techniques. So, it's the hyper personalized is what's going to become another just noise eventually.
Yeah,
right?
And you need to stand out. You need attention. You need to do whatever it takes to get that attention. The world of commerce isn't changing. If you've got something of value, then you can make money. The challenge is getting the attention. So you need to do whatever it takes to get that attention. Just use every tool under the sun. Use every method that you can. You're up against everybody else, but you are unique. You are unique, and that gives you an edge. And we've said to people before, you can buy HighLevel from anyone. There's 116,000 right now. You can buy HighLevel from anyone. Why should I buy it from you? Because if you buy it from anyone, they don't get you. They don't get your unique experience and your unique perspective and your unique service. They need to buy from you. But in order to make that happen, you've got to get their attention and do whatever it takes to make that happen.
Yeah. Guys, I've got some career and sort of related questions to both of you. I was going to ask you if that's cool.
Go for it.
You've both been building software and systems long before the AI hype. What early patterns did you notice about businesses that scale versus those that stay stuck?
That's a great question, Johann.
Businesses that stay stuck, they get comfortable. Businesses that scale are the ones who leverage the technology that they have access to right now. They jump on it, they capitalize on it, and they reinvest into their company to build a bigger engine. At the end of the day, your business is just an engine. The job of that engine is to make you financially wealthy, right? And sustain and grow your company. And the more people you have, the quicker and faster it can grow. When you get comfortable, people who are not innovating, people who are not growing, they're comfortable and they're happy. But what happens is the other people will come in and they go, hey, wow, this is a great market. There's not much innovation. Like, Walt keeps saying construction companies. You can go to the construction companies right now, just vibe code up an app that solves all these problems for them. They're happy to pay you a lot of money because there's tons of money in that industry. So leverage, use the technology, use the time. There's never been a time like this before where we can literally in a weekend come up with a whole new software that didn't exist before and then have it production ready maybe in a week or so and then get it out there. So yeah, that's my advice.
So be fast, market mover, and
Exactly.
take the sport. What products used by tens of thousands of users? What does experience teach you that first-time founders usually ignore?
The market determines your value, not your ideas. I've hit a big hurdle with that in my life. I'm talking 100% from experience, where we were building something huge, but it was based on my own interpretation of what huge meant. I was trying to create the most incredible, biggest platform that I'd ever seen. And every time my developers would come back to me and say, done, I'd say, oh, change this and make that better and do this. And my idea was that I wasn't going to release it to the market until it was absolutely amazing. The challenge was that I had zero cash flow coming in and I kept spending money to create, and I wasn't getting the validation of the market from the buyers. I had nobody telling me what the market needed. I was creating what I thought was the best mousetrap, but the market hadn't even asked for it. So if I can take that to a lesson that you guys can understand, only the market determines the value. And if you look at the latest auction of a Van Gogh painting, right, and sold for $273 million, and you go, who would pay that for that tiny little, art coloring thing that my 2-year-old kid could do? The truth is the market determines the value, not you. So no matter what you think of it, it's only valuable when somebody else says, I'll pay you this. So from a software production point of view, and amazing to have the backing of something like HighLevel where you can create unique things and take it to market. My biggest piece of advice is take it to market. Only then will you know and understand, does it have value? Should I put this, more into this? Johann mentioned vibe coding. In this era of vibe coding, you can create something straight away and drop it out there and very quickly get market feedback. Is the market willing to pay me for this? If yes, go all in. If no, you'll know quickly and you can pivot and change and move. The market determines your value. So go to market. That's the only way you can get validation of what you're doing.
With validating offers, what do you think is the best strategy? Is it running like the quickest one, I would say? Is like, would you say running a Facebook ad or doing a cold outreach?
Great question. So in all of the product launch kind of coaching and strategizing I've ever done in my life, I always talk about this technique that I learned, which is called the flypaper technique. And it sounds gross, but especially in Australia, and I know that my European family have the same thing, these little strips of sticky paper when you're eating outside, you're having a barbecue with your friends, and it attracts the flies so they don't come to your meal. It's called the flypaper technique. But the way it works is literally just putting up something in an environment where there is a buzz of people and seeing if anybody sticks to it. So how do I do that? These days with Reddit or with amazing threads and posts that are in the Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn worlds, find a group of people that are potentially the ideal client for this and drop a post that just says, hey, I just saw this, or I'm thinking about this as an idea. Would that be interesting to anyone? Just see. Because if you've got crickets and nobody's saying anything, then find another problem to solve. So the easiest answer is go to where the people are and ask the question. Should there be a Facebook ad? No, because you're going to spend money. Should it be a YouTube video? No, because you're not going to get the audience, right? Go to where the people are and ask the question. And again, it's all about attention. If you're nobody in that space, then you might not get 10,000 responses, but you might get one. And if you just get one, if you get one person that says, oh, that's interesting, and you could ask them, any of your friends, could you ask them for me? And they can say, hey, friends, this guy's looking at this. Would that be interesting for anyone else? If you can just get those couple of specks of interest, you've proven the idea. Now just go in, go hard, go after it.
There was an episode on Diary of a CEO, like I think in December or November. He had this guy on who's like famous for like side hustles, who launched a lot of side hustles, and he was sharing the strategy using Facebook Marketplace for validating offers.
Great.
He talked about an example of creatine, right? A product, creatine. There's many different supplement brands selling creatine, but he was like just adding a new twist to it. I don't know what it was, something like flavors or something, positioning it, and then the product didn't even exist, and he just put it out there on a marketplace and then see what the response is and then validate it. So that was a good one.
Johann and I talked about this very morning. We were looking at launching something new, and I said to him, put up a wait list. Ask the question out to the audience. Just put up a wait list. Hey, this is something that's on the horizon. If you're interested, put your name down. I'll let you know when it's released. People are putting their name down. Go all in. That's your test.
Once you've tested it, once you notice that there is an interest, what would the next best step be? Would it be Facebook ads?
So one of the things that we're doing, we are launching another product, right? Because we built it and we think it's amazing, but we think it's amazing. So we said, okay, cool, let's do something. So we put together a beta group on WhatsApp. We said, pulled everybody into that group. We asked, who wants to beta test this new software? And everybody put their hands up. Then we took those people, put them into the beta group. Then we're going to give them access. Then we're going to test and make sure everybody's getting results. And they turn into our testimonials, right? So we give them access. They're now turning into testimonials. Then we take this and we go to JV partners. Like you asked, do we do Facebook ads? No. Why? Because we've got partners. Partners help get the word out.
Leverage. Exactly. Why give money to Zach when you can give it to a partner?
Exactly. You nailed it. And so now we go out to our partners and go, hey guys, we're doing a big launch. Would you like to support us? Anyone who comes on board, we'll give you 30%, whatever the economics works out to be. And then everybody launches. We have a nice big launch event. Everybody's happy. Everybody's making money. And that's how you get product market fit.
And now we'll go cold outreach, Facebook ads, YouTube content,
Then
long-term
you scale.
play, all that stuff. Yeah.
Because that's the stuff that takes a bit more dial in, and you have to build. You have to build into it. Guys, we're at the end. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Now,
Great to have you.
yeah, it's always great to have you guys on. What you've been doing in the community, it's been very impressive over the years. I've come to know you. We've hung out in a couple of level ups as well, and yeah, I'm always amazed in like how you guys work together and stuff that you put out, and how it's valued by the community, and then how you consistently continue to work so well together as business partners as well. It's something, I don't know what the stats are, but sometimes it's recommended just don't have a business partner. A lot of times it just goes belly up. How do you guys manage to continue work so well together? Was there ever any hiccup? Like, how do you do this?
Yeah, I'll go. So throughout my 21 years in business, I have had a lot of business partners. And I've been married for the last 14 years. And my wife always says, thank God for Walt. Before Walt, she goes, you're never having business partners again. After Walt, she's thank God for Walt. And I hope he is the last business partner you ever have. So Walt and I, we wake up at 5 a.m. We both excited, yo, let's effing go. Let's take on the day. The biggest thing that makes our partnership work is values. So how do we know that it's a good partnership? As I said, I've had many. And the reason it always fell apart was because of values. There was a mismatch in values and a mismatch in timing. So some of my business partners prior to this one with Walt, they were all 20, 30 years older than me. And we grew this company significantly, but they were all in a very chilled out phase. They're in retirement phase. They don't want to grow the company. I'm there young. I'm like, let's go every day. I'm again, 5 a.m. Let's go. Let's take on the world. And these guys are like, bought another yacht, bought another apartment, bought another holiday house. They're cruising. They're chilled. So that was a mismatch of ages. Walt and I are very similar in age. We are very similar in our family composition. But the values, what drives us, what wakes us up in the morning, what do we want to add to the marketplace? That's a big difference. Again, one more thing is there's different types of businesses. There's businesses that you build for a quick exit. So you build it, you grow it, you sell it, you cash out, you got it, woohoo. Or you have a business that's going to leave a legacy, that's going to change lives. We're going to build a community. And so Walt and I agreed when we started, this is not a build, grow, scale, exit type business. This is a let's build a community, let's build brands, let's build things that our kids are going to be proud of, that they can look back on. My kids, they sit there and they watch us on YouTube, right? I'm like, what are you doing? And they're watching our YouTube channel. So that's legacy. So in a long answer to your question, values is the main thing, and the right time of life is the main thing.
Right. So there has to be much in the energy and the eagerness to grow it. Because like you said, if somebody's already made it, they're in their 60s, they're enjoying, they might have the money, they might be a good business partner from that perspective for funding. But at the end of the day, like as an entrepreneur, you know, if you're driven, you want to make sure, you want to feel like the other person's driven as well. Otherwise you feel like you're just pulling all the weight, right? Yeah. Even though they may have pulled in a lot of money into it, but at the end of the day, like if you're pulling all the weight, it just feels like kind of sucks, doesn't it?
That's definitely my answer as well. Like the values and the work ethic. I mean, Johann has said publicly before, which I thank you for, bro. And I said the same thing, which is I never have to feel like I'm carrying Johann. I feel like he's carrying me, right? His work is just incredible, but he says the same. You know, when we love what we do, we love the community that we serve, and the weight of that is shared between both of us. There's not any kind of slant in terms of, you know, you're doing 10 times more than I am kind of thing. I look at what Johann's producing and I'm like, dude, I've got to catch up. And he's looking at me going, man, I've got to catch up. And it's just such a great relationships because we're pulling harder together in the same direction, which is just fantastic.
All that being said, have you ever run into a situation where you clashed heads?
Definitely. On a weekly basis. Honestly, and I'm being serious. Never to the point of, you know,
because it's about respect as well, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Like Johann's an alpha male, I'm an alpha male. We both have ideas about the best way to do things, but one of the great things about our working relationship is honesty and transparency. And we've clearly and specifically said to each other, there's never anything you can't say. So I think we should, dude, what? That's just stupid. Let's talk about it. Oh, you're actually right. You've convinced me. Or, oh, you're right. You've convinced me. We have a very open, transparent way of working together because we're both aligned with the end of the race. Like we both know that whatever is said on either side is to achieve the same goal. So then it's just a matter of strategies. Okay, well, whose way is better? And neither of us have the ego that says, oh, I've got to win. No, the mentality is we've got to win. I would rather win than be right. And both of us are the same.
Brilliant. I love it. Thank you guys for sharing. Hey, we put together a bit of an offer for those of you guys listening. So I'm going to get Johann or Walt, you guys decide, rock, scissors, paper, tell you guys about the offer about AI Up. If you are, especially like running sales department, if you want to do more, lead gen, more outreach, close more business, then, you've seen a demo, like a minute, 23 seconds. It's ridiculous. Do you want to break down what the offer is, guys?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Absolutely.
So guys, if you're in sales, if you want sales, if you're a sales trainer, we'd love for you to come in, check out the software. Because of Vit, Vit's organized 100 credits for you on the software. Jump in. We're going to put the link down below here. It's the HighLevel experience.com.
Yes. /AIXUP, AIXUP. So HighLevelExperience.com/AIXUP, and that's AXUP. You get, as Johann said, not only will we give you a free account, we'll also give you a free workshop training where you can build those AI agents the same way as I did. Now, the workshop is longer than a minute 23. The workshop is about 20, 25 minutes, but it shows you how to build it, how to structure it, so that you can run those AI agents all the time. That's totally for free, and that's with thanks to the High Level Experience podcast with Vit.
Brilliant. Thank you, guys. That's an awesome offer. And I assume that also includes instructions on how you set up the outreach in GHL and all that sort of stuff. I know you've got over the years, you've recorded heaps of stuff. So thank you guys for what you're doing. Thank you for being on. I really appreciate you.
Pleasure, man.
Thanks, man. Thank you, Vit. Appreciate you.
Guys, thank you so much for listening to today's episode on the High Level Experience. If you've enjoyed today's episode, then please share it with your fellow agency mates and other high levelers that you think would also benefit from listening. For show notes, links, and extra tips to help your agency or your SaaS with high level, please go to highlevelexperience.com. Thank you, and have a great rest of your day, everybody.